What's up, South Coast? How are we doing? Welcome back to another groups video. I'm back. I haven't done one in a while, so this will be fun. Hopefully I'm not too rusty, but anyways, we'll get right into it. We're in a series called Discipled, and we're looking at how Jesus went through life and how it taught the disciples how to live their lives and specific teachings that he gave them and things. And so this week, we're talking about Jesus's way of simplicity. He lived a simple life, and it seemed busy at times, but it was never rushed. It's kind of this dual thing, and so we're going to jump right into that. Some questions today that we're excited about, and so we'll get into the first one. The first one revolves around the topic of anxiety. This is a big topic today. Big, what would you say? Hot word of the day. But the question I have is: it seems as if, and statistics would agree with this, it seems as if that anxiety has been on the rise over the last 30, 40 years, and especially over the last 10 years. And the question, simply to get us into this conversation, is why do you think that is? And I think it's predominant in youth, and I have my own theories about that, we don't need to get into that now, but I do think it has affected adults as well. And I've seen parents of youth, and we've seen even some older folks who are just really anxious. And so what do you think that is? Why do you think we are a more anxious people today than we have in the past? So we'll take some time, talk about this. Ready, set, go. All right, so hopefully I had a good conversation about that. I have big theories about how social media plays in to anxiety, about how the way we allow our children to fight through adversity, those types of things. But hopefully you had a good conversation. The Bible says in Matthew 6, Jesus says to not be anxious. And then he goes on to talk about how if he takes care of the birds, the plants, everything else, why would he not take care of you? Another thing that the Bible says in a famous Psalm 23, I believe it is. There's a part of it, this is the famous one about the valley of the shadow of death, fear no evil, all that kind of stuff. Right after that, it says, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And so we're kind of going to veer off for a second, but I think it'll help play in. And so here's a question that you guys can jump into. I think we've kind of skipped over that part, your rod and your staff and they comfort me. Why is that a really, really important verse, especially when we're talking about anxiety? Why is that verse that God's rod and his staff comfort us important? And a little hint, it has a lot to do with shepherding. So ready, set, go. Okay, so we're back. Hopefully you got to the idea that it's interesting. The rod is to kind of redirect sheep, to kind of smack sheep around, and the staff has a hook on it that they would guide a sheep by the neck and use it to kind of guide the herd. And why would those things be comforting to us? When God's correction comforting to us? Is his discipline? And listen, you can't be a disciple without being disciplined. So having correction, having redirection should be comforting to us because we ultimately want to stay on the path. And when we're on that path, we're less anxious than when we veered off. So anyways, the next question number 3. On Sunday, my dad talked about how God is our provider, which I think is an awesome conversation to have, an awesome idea. And it's so true that God is our provider. That's why we pay our tithes 10%, because the 100% is his anyways, but we give him 10%. So the 90 is blessed. But I have a question. How do we balance working hard, like really working hard, doing our very best at work, doing our very best to provide for our families, doing our very best to put food on the table, to advance ourselves? How do we do that while also trusting fully that God's providing? How do we balance those two things? We're working so hard, not so hard that we are burning ourselves out, but we're working hard to do the right thing. But then also at the same time, we fully trust God as our provider. How do those things balance, or how do those things go together? That's question number 3. Ready, set, go. Okay, so that hopefully you had a good conversation. I love this topic. One of the things that I had heard, and I wish I could credit this quote to the right person, but I heard one time somebody say, to work like it all depends on you and pray like it all depends on God. I think that's part of the answer to the last question, is that we work really hard because God's called us to work really hard, and He's given us gifts, and He's given us the talent to do it. But at the same time, we have to know that even if we come up short, even if we fail, He's going to provide. Even if for some reason we lose our job and we had been working hard, God's still our provider. So it's good. So the last point of the message was to seek first the kingdom. So this is just kind of a general question. It could get really, really good if you guys dive into it. So here's the question. What does it really mean to seek first the kingdom? And then here's the second hard question is, do you really do it? What does it mean to seek first the kingdom in every aspect of our lives? Seeking first the kingdom doesn't mean simply giving your first fruits. It doesn't mean simply going to church every Sunday. What does seeking first the kingdom in everything in our life mean? And can we be real with ourselves? Do we do it or do we not do it? And have that conversation. How can you get better at it? How can you seek first the kingdom in even the mundane things, even the small things in life? So that's all the questions for today. Hopefully it is a catalyst to some good conversation. And we love you, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Also, you thought I was gone. Yeah, right. This Sunday we have a Super Bowl party. Come hang out, bring some good food. It'll be downstairs in what's called the multi-purpose room, but all you old saints know it's called the fellowship hall. So it'll be down there. Have some good food. We'll watch the Super Bowl together at, I believe it's gonna be at 3 o'clock. So we'll see you there. Okay, bye.